Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday, November 14th, 2023 workshop meeting of the Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Yanni for the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski, and good evening, everybody. I'm glad to report to the board that in the entire community that our students are doing very well. It's already 3 months in. It's hard to believe that we are a week away from Thanksgiving. So last week, we hosted the first Parent University at the high school. The goal of Parent University is to empower our parents with the knowledge and resource to help their children be the best version of themselves. Workshops included an introduction to Ruler, a social and emotional learning program at TR and Vernon, the responsible use of social media offered by the Nassau County Police Department, and a session on helping students with stress and anxiety. The feedback that we received was very positive. We are planning to run a second Parent University event in the spring. But I would like to take this opportunity to thank Alba Gallegos for thinking about this initiative, running it, and being there that night. You did a great job, Alba. Thank you. Alba, you want to wave so everybody knows who you are? All right. Usually people wave. Kindergarten math night, Theodore Roosevelt Elementary School held its 7th annual kindergarten math night on Wednesday, October 25th. It was a fun and engaging night for parents and students. I attended, and for me as a former math teacher, it was the best thing because I never saw so many parents and students excited about mathematics, which was great. A big thank you to our new principal, not new anymore, it's 2 months in, 3 months in, so you're a veteran. Deborah Small, Carla Pimentel, our supervisor of mathematics, and Michelle Squires, one of our teachers, as well as all the teachers that helped putting that together. So thank you, great job. As we're getting close to December, there is concerts and music all around. So high school music students are getting ready for the December events. 2 weeks ago, we had our first chamber music concert of the year. It was truly a pleasure to see the students play. But I have to be honest with you, the thing that it was impressive, the most impressive thing was that 20 minutes later, students were on the field playing, and then 20 minutes, 45 minutes later, they were all dressed up, clean, showered, and on the stage doing a beautiful job. So keep up the great work, and this is the best part of Oyster Bay, that we can do multiple things. A small school doesn't stop us from doing all the great things. So congratulations to all the students. The other on October 26th seemed so far away, but the town had a naming street ceremony for Theodore Roosevelt, and our students, our second graders, did a wonderful job singing America the Beautiful and the Pledge of Allegiance, and it was impressive how in front of so many people that they didn't know, they didn't miss a beat. So it was wonderful, and I was so proud of them, and I'm sure that's an event that will last. They will remember forever when they see that sign. So great job on that. Halloween parades is one of my favorite. Everybody get dressed up. The second graders, the kindergarten, first grade, second grade, all the way to sixth grade at 2 different schools it was great. I dressed as a superintendent. Everybody liked that, Ms. Kowalski. The one thing that I want to thank the community, when you think about an event like this, kindergarten, Roosevelt, the parade, Vernon, the parade, we're not missing anything despite the construction, and that's due to the amazing team that I have, the administrators, the teachers, the parents. There is so much going on around our schools. We are truly building a future history by having additions to several buildings, and we're not missing anything just because we plan it and we walk around. So we work around whatever work we have to do. So it was nice to see the parade going, and just a few meters away, construction keep going, and all the workers doing a great job. So great, and thank you for your patience to the community. Long Island, as a follow-up to our Board of Education, Long Island University had a representative from LIU Post visiting our counseling center. And I'm proud to say that all 9 of our students were accepted to the university and received a total of $191,000 in scholarship. That is impressive, but I'm hearing that it is not only, it's just the beginning. There could be additional monies that will come to them. So having students at this time of the year, having secured a placement, it's quite impressive. So I want a big thank you to the entire counseling department and to our supervisor of guidance, which is non-new, Dr. Danka, who just came from the annual, I still didn't go to that trip. Eventually I'm going to go, the annual counseling trip in Washington, D.C., correct? And everybody came back and everybody's safe. And they had a great time, I hear. Excellent. Great job on that. Last Sunday, I attended the 2023 Nassau County High School Students Jury Art Competition and Exhibition. There were 260 submissions of our work, and 3 of our students, Ava De Angelis is here. Ava, congratulations. We also had Omar Figueroa and William Amiyama. They had their work posted. But the best part is that second overall into the entire show was Ava De Angelis. Excellent. You have to see our work. It's impressive. It was a 3D work, and it was admired by a lot of people, and I received countless compliments from everybody. So great job on that. 2 weeks ago, we had the first academic committee meeting. That's a subcommittee of the board. Ms. Kowalski was with us, Ms. Castrogiovanni, and Mr. Schindler. In addition to Ms. Argument, Ms. Gallegos, and Dr. Danka. We discussed graduation rate, college acceptance, AP, Regents, math results, and the implementation of the many initiatives to make sure that we support our students. It was a very productive meeting, and I want to thank the entire board, Ms. Kowalski, Ms. Castrogiovanni, and Mr. Schindler for taking time out of their schedule during the day to meet with us and to listen to all our initiatives and the wonderful work that the teachers and the students are doing. So with that, I'd like to conclude my meeting by wishing everybody a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And I would like to invite to the podium Ms. Erica G. Yopak to introduce some of our performers, our talented performers. Ms. G. Yopak.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yanni. So we all know I'm not a math person like Dr. Yanni and Ms. Rayner, but I'm going to do my best to share some interesting numbers with you right now. So there are 414 students that attend Vernon. In this year's musical production, there are 94 student actors, which is an increase from last year, which was 76 student actors. There are 24 5th and 6th grade crew members and 23 3rd and 4th grade students who are working on the painting and the crew. So that is a total of 141 students working on this production versus 122 from last year, which makes up 34% of Vernon's entire population involved in Finding Nemo this year. So I think that deserves a round of applause. And it really does take a village, or maybe I should say a school of fish, to go into producing a musical, and anyone that's been on the other side of it knows that. So before we bring our absolutely incredible students to the stage, I just want to take the opportunity to publicly thank all of those that are involved behind the scenes and working so very tirelessly in making this production possible, starting from August. You know, this goes on, this starts before the school year starts. In fact, I think we started talking about this in the spring of last year. So, of course, thank you to our Board of Education, who always supports all of our endeavors in our department, our central administration, of course, Mr. Nelson, Ms. Smith, the building administrators, and our incredible artistic and production team. And if you could stand when I call your name. So Ms. Chiapardi, who is our director and choreographer. Ms. Kemp, who is our assistant director. Mr. Costidis is our vocal and music director. Ms. Muller is our stage crew advisor. And Mr. Dolan leads our backstage crew, our lighting and our sound and our projection. This year's production's extra special because we're involving a lot of things we've never done before on stage here in the district, which is large puppets, which is something we've never done, and digital projection scenery in addition to 3D scenery, which is kind of the way the theater industry is going. And so we're excited to stay right up there with the industry. So Please join us on Friday and Saturday. I can't believe it's here at 7 p.m. We look forward to seeing you there. Tickets are available online on the website. And without further ado, I would like to welcome our fearless director, Ms. Cheer Party, to the stage, who will introduce our students.
Thank you, everyone. We are so excited to be here. This has been a different journey for us at Vernon. We have all sorts of opportunities for children. This is the first time that we have students working a background projection system. We have Vernon students working spotlights. One of our students who is here tonight is supporting and running her side of backstage, Miss Nicole Corrales. And with very large numbers of students, we are swimming through these last few months and continuing to do so until this weekend. You will see that some of our students are shorter in stature, and that means nothing to them. They are carrying extremely large puppets that they are bringing to life. So we are so excited for you to dive right in with us this weekend and just keep swimming the entire time. So at this time, I'd like to invite our student performers to the stage. I'm going to introduce them by name and their part. We have Miss Gracie Joannan playing Bubbles, Reese Davey playing Bloat, Jorlina playing Gurgle, Dylan playing Nemo, Alex playing Marlin, Anne-Marie playing Dory, Cece playing Peach, and Hannah playing Professor Ray. So we don't like to skip to the ending, but we're going to give you a preview of our finale tonight. So please take a second and enjoy this experience with us.
So then, the sea cucumber looks at the mollusk and says, "When fronds like these, who needs anemones?" Oh, Dad. Now go and get some knowledge,
and come home when you're done.
don't worry, I'll be careful, but remember to have fun.
Everybody find the buddy, Nemo that we do. Wait, there's something I forgot to do. Love you, Dad.
Love you too. Now go have an adventure.
In the big blue world, we're gonna go explore. In the big blue world, we've never seen before. What is waiting out there? We can never know. In the big blue world, ready to go. In the big blue world, ready to go. In the big blue world, we're ready to go. In the big blue world. Bye, Elmo.
Nemo.
Bye, Dory. Bye, Dad.
Bye, Nemo.
So we hope we didn't spoil it for you by giving you the finale, but we can't wait to see you this weekend. We hope you'd all join us for Finding Nemo on Friday and Saturday night in the Gymatorium. That's what we call it at Vernon, the Gymatorium. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much.
So our students, you're welcome to stay for the presentation, but if you have homework to do or you want to go home, this would be a good time to go. What do you think? I can stay? Okay. It's going to be tough to do a presentation right after this, but. While the students are leaving, I also want to thank our new principal, Vernon, Mr. Nelson. Great job on every day of the work that you do. And Miss Anastasia Smith, our assistant principal. Great job. I know it takes a lot to coordinate a show of 110 students, 141. 41. Wow, you got that number down. From 126, right? All right. So, give you a quick update on the data analysis of AP Regents and ELA and math results. Obviously, those results came towards the end of last school year, and right now we're pretty much looking at everything and try to understand where we are. And understanding where we are sometimes is difficult because it's months later, and it is something that we reflect on it, and we want to make sure that we make the right adjustments. So in the future, our grades and our students will continue to succeed. So when you look at divided into three sections, obviously the AP data analysis, when you look at this chart, is pretty straightforward coming from the College Board. And you see that you have the total number of students, and obviously that number is changing based on the population of the cohort. So you could see the number has been 209 all the way to 162 in terms of the year 2023, and that's May 2023. You're looking at the number of exams. Obviously, students can take more than one exam, and they will for the most part. Then you have AP students with 3 or higher, and those are scores that are recognized by most colleges. And then the last line is the AP, the percentage of total students with scores of 3 or higher. And you see that we are pleased to see that the numbers are moving in the right direction. So 61%, 66%, and 70, almost 71%. So that number is the number of students who receive 3 or higher. When you look at the recognition that we just received this year, we also received the AP Honor Roll silver recognition. This is, my understanding, is a new recognition from the AP College Board. So we are scored a different level. Obviously, the silver, the college culture is, we are in the silver, college credit in the gold, and the college optimization is under the platinum. And what I have on the next slide, I have an explanation of each of the one. So the college culture, which was the first one, is 40% or more of the graduating cohort took at least one AP exam during high school. The college credit, 25% of more graduating with a score of 3 or higher, and then the on at least one AP. And the last one, which we received the platinum recognition, was that we have 2% or more graduating cohort. It took 5 or more AP, and at least one of those exams was in 9th or 10th grade. So that gives an indication of the number of students. Obviously, they're taking the exam, but also the wide range, from a 9th grade all the way to 12th grade. So obviously, those recognitions are certainly great, but we want to obviously continue. So when you look at the previous slide, obviously the college credit and the college culture, we have some work to do with our teachers, with our supervisors, and looking back and try to keep going in that direction. When you look at the number of students that we have in each cohort, the bar graph on the right, their overall, is an indication of the percentage of students with 3 and above. So we're looking at obviously the graduating class. Every graduating class is a little bit different. But when you look at the overall, which is not just obviously the 12th graders, but 9 to 12 at the high school, you see that there is a steady increase. So those are the things that we want to continue to see. And, obviously when you look at the AP results, again, they're come a year later. So we're doing a lot of analysis, and the supervisors are doing an amazing job looking back and say, okay, what we can do, what we can change, and what kind of support we can give to the students while they're in school. So right now, one of the things that we have been implementing for a year or two right now is the benchmarking at every quarter, and then look and say, well, if things are going in a certain direction by November, by December, what kind of support we can put in place? Because looking and trying to do an intervention in March or end of February, April, sometimes is quite too late. And there is always a fine balance to teach for the course and teach for the exam in a way, and creating that passion for that subject. So we're moving in the right direction, but obviously we always have work to do. When you look at the regions data analysis, it's a little bit different, because when you look at the regions, it's kind of divided in two areas, right? One is the passing of the regions, which is 65. For a few years now has been some credit with 55, but 65 is that magic number. That's the passing. The mastery is 85 or above. So we kind of divided it into two areas. And when you look at some of the graphs, obviously we're proud of some of the work that it was accomplished in some of the areas. So you look at the ELA, we went from a 75% of the students receiving passing to a 93. You're looking at the earth science also went from 86 to 90. So you see that change. The chemistry, an increase, the algebra 1. But then you see area like geometry, that there was a little bit of, there was a pretty big drop. Physics and living environment. And so what we have done during the summer, and we are doing at the beginning of the year, we're looking at those exams, and we're looking at different, we take a different approach. One is to look at the actual exams, looking at some of the answers that the students, how they answer on some of the questions, and reflect back on the curriculum that we had in place last year, and also look at the type of the exam. So for example, geometry, the way the score, the way the rubric was given by the state, and how students did on some of those questions, and then try to go back and reflect on making the appropriate adjustment so the students can be successful. And the other thing that we're doing, just like we're doing in the for the AP exams, we are looking at the different benchmarking. And we are not, obviously we can't create, the Regents exam would be nice if we can predict what the question is going to be. But what we're trying to do is trying to use information resource that we have and try to prepare the students so they can be prepared with the language that they see, and when they take the Regents, they're not completely surprised by the type of questions they're given to them. So obviously there is a lot of work that is done also behind the scene, which is important, and we want to make sure that we support our staff. And I have to say a big thank you to all the department supervisors and directors for digging in and try to figure out, in some of the exams, what went wrong. So hopefully we have better results the following year. When you look at the mastery exam, some of the numbers, obviously with the green arrow, you see that we're very proud. Some of them, we have some work to do. And, when you look at the jump that we had in, for example, in Algebra 1, we went from a 5% mastery to a 20%. 20%, it's like a 15% increase. Is really good, but obviously more work to do and keep going in that direction. But some of the other exams, we experience a drop, and that's pretty much due to, a lot of different factors. When you look, for example, at the physics exam, we had an increase, and some of the classes were looking at the curriculum, were looking at how they combine. So some of the physics students that were taking the AP and the Regents, and so aligning the curriculum the right way are some of the work that we are currently doing, and making sure that those benchmarking are reflective. So the teachers are aware where the students are, and B, the parents are also aware where their children are in terms of their performance. The other piece that we're also looking into it, which has been for the past year and a half, we've been staying on top of it. We want to make sure that the course grade is in alignment with the results on the region. So students know all along where they stand, and they can receive the proper support, so they don't have a misconception of what's going on. I do not want to have my son or my daughter coming home with a class grade of 95 and then take the Regents and getting a 65. So if all along my son or my daughter is into the 60, 65, I know that I need to provide some support. So that alignment is critical. It's critical for the students, it's critical for the school, it's critical for the parents, and I think we can do a great job by making sure that we almost assess the students the same way they are going to be assessed when they take the Regents exam or the AP exams for that. When you look at the ELA and the math results, math 3 to 8, this is also has been analyzed and continue to be analyzed. We have different initiatives that we put in place at Vernon and at the school. Obviously, in school, at the high school, we have 7 and 8. So, but you see that in this bar graph, what we have is the pink line would be the county. So you see that some of the exams starting in 3rd grade, we have some work to do. And obviously, there are some general answers to a question, to a bar graph that looks like this, where you see that students in 3rd grade have experienced 1 or 2 years of hybrid online. So those are the babies that during the year of COVID, they were attached to a computer. But that is for everybody. So here we have work to do, because obviously if the county is at 59 and we are 39, there is some here that we would have to look into it. You look at the grade 4, grade 7, grade 8, there's a big jump, but here grade 5 and grade 6, obviously you see a little bit of drop, number one, and two, we are lower compared to the county. When you look at the mathematics department, 3 to 7, 8th grade, most of the students, I think except for 10 students, they all take the algebra Regents. But when you look at the results over here, except for the 3rd grade, there's still an increase a little bit from 2022, 2023, but the other grades pretty much had an increase. So 72 to 82, look at 43 to 68, 69, and for the most part, the county average was lower than, we're a little bit higher than the county. But again, when you look at the county, you look at all the schools, and I know it's very difficult to compare and to look at, to look at other schools, other population, but at the end of the day, what we want our students to be the best they can be. And so when you look at AP results, you look at Regents results, you look at 3 to 8 results, they compound on each other. And so a student's doing well on the math 7th grade, you could see that a success on that grade will lead to success of the Regents, will lead to success on the AP. So we're proud of the results, and we're looking back and we say, what work needs to be done, and we want to continue to move in that direction. So graduation rate goes up, and the students are recognized and for the work that they do, and the teachers and the administrators are recognized for the work that they do. I think that's the end of, yes. I don't know if the board has any question?
I do with the third grade. It seems, I mean, I understand that they experienced COVID and a couple of years of missing school, et cetera, and wearing masks, but the entire county had to experience that. So for our third grade to be below average in both math and ELA is kind of concerning, that maybe that group of kids needs some extra support. Do we have any plans to support the third grade?
So we've been making some adjustments at the master schedule level to make sure that the students receive the support without being pulled out of major classes. That's one thing that has been going on. The other thing that we also did is the STAR assessment, which was a way to kind of benchmark the students and see where they were during the year has changed, and we are using iReady now that has support not just for the students but also resource for the teachers. And one of the initiatives that we have put in place is the creation of the Empower period, which is a period where based on the assessment that the students receive at the beginning of the year, they receive the iReady 3 times a year. They are assessed. Then there is support and resource to the teachers so the students receive the support that they need. In the third grade, there was obviously some, analysis of the assessment, but like you stated, the assessment was the same for everybody. The COVID was the same for everybody. So I think assessing our students and see where they are and provide the support, I think is something that will lead to success, I hope. And my other thing is students being in the past with a different schedule, being pulled out of main core classes, I think that could have had an impact. I wish I can predict for sure, but when you're dealing with kindergarten, first grade, second grade, already dealing with what they're dealing with, and top it off with maybe being pulled out, missing a session here and there, that could have been the cause. But obviously, it's something that we're looking into.
Because this academic committee was made so that the board could focus, obviously, on these scores. I want to thank you for all the data you've given us. He gives us packages of data and scores, analysis, et cetera. Something I don't think I've ever received on the board like what you provide us. It's, for me, not to beat Nassau County average is really concerning in every class. I mean, we're Oyster Bay, we should be above Nassau, in the minimum, above Nassau County average. So we appreciate that you're going to look into that and really try to get these scores to where they should be, let alone, even comparable to our surrounding districts. So hopefully it'll be a work in progress, but it is, I think, one of the most important focuses of this board is the academics. Yeah. And it's easy to get involved in other discussions and other issues that arise in the school district. So the academic committee has been created so that we always keep this at the forefront, that this is our most important goal. So I appreciate your data, and hopefully we can make these scores a little bit better.
It is our main objective to make sure that the scores is not just, and we had discussed this in the academic committee, is not just about the scores, is the fact that we have a population, we have a community that is supportive, we have students that are capable of better results, and it's truly painful to see those results when I know that we have students that are capable of a lot more. So when it comes down to adjusting the schedule, providing the resource to the teacher so they can support the student, when you look at these, I want to call it technical issues, because when you have students that are capable of succeeding and they're not, that is concerning. And again, it's not just about the number. It's not just about getting 100%. Yes, I'm very competitive. I want to win. I want 100% on everything. But I think when you have that kind of student, the students that we have, and you see the results that we have, the same thing when we were talking about the graduation rate. To have a graduation rate of 89% and knowing the type of caliber of students that you have is very painful for me. And I think my colleagues and my administrators, my supervisors, and principal are sharing the same concern, and we are doing everything in our power. And I know that I've come to the board and say, this is the reason things went wrong. This is the reason we're running out of excuses. But I think with the initiatives that we have in place and the people that we have in place, I think we're moving in the positive direction.
Well, I think also identifying that we've had some, and that my kids have gone through the school, all three of them, and have taken classes where their average was a 95 or a 98, and then it comes to the Regents exam, and they do a lot worse than that. And if the parent knows that your child is not doing as well as the grades are showing, we can give them support. The school can give them support.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge, something you identified, that hopefully that'll make the changes. Anybody else?
Yeah, Dr. Yanni, I mean, it seems like some of the issue is that these tests have changed recently, like for at least last year's tests were very different. And there also seems to be some changes in the type of questions that are being asked, and I know all that analysis is being done. But is there any sort of continuing I guess, professional development that our teachers could, focus on so that they have a better understanding of how to teach to this new criteria that New York State has put out?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that we are doing is, in terms of the staff development that their staff will receive, that is ongoing. But I think that one thing that has changed this year, I think there's been more compared to the past, is the collaboration within the department and the alignment, the vertical alignment that is taking place in terms of curriculum design. And, obviously when you look at the articulation between the lower grade and the high school, or Theodore Roosevelt and the Vernon. So professional development is obviously ongoing. Collaboration amongst the teachers, but also sharing some of the data, some of the reports from BOSI's, some of the reports that we have, looking at the exam and looking at how many students score, didn't score any points when you look at the geometry regions, for example. We're going down into the details of looking how many students failed to answer or receive credit on question number 20, and what was the standards aligned to that question, and then go back to the curriculum and making sure that it is aligned the proper way. So it's not just about the scoring, but it's also about how the curriculum was designed. We have discovered that some of the curriculum was designed in a way that teachers were teaching all the way to the last minute. And I think that I know from, teaching and from being a dad, that at some point you need to regroup and review for the exam. If you teach all the way to the last day, that could lead to disaster. So those are, I don't think there is a magic solution, magic professional development, because I will pay on my own to make sure that they go to. I think it's a collaboration and a combination of different variables that could truly help us on some of those regions that were the scores were low.
Anyone else?
I was just thinking more about the curriculum writing, right? Obviously, we're missing something here, regarding not necessarily what they're learning, but what they're learning in order to be equipped to take these tests, right?
Yes.
So I was just thinking, if over the summer, people who are doing the curriculum writing attended maybe some sort of workshop, do they offer workshops
Yes,
to teach
yes.
how to target your curriculum so that they can answer these type of questions?
So there's been curriculum writing, and also the other thing that we had, which was successful even in the past, from last year to this year, some of the results that have increased, and you have seen in the packet that I sent to the board, where students, teachers attended workshops from the college board, the AP College Board. So when you look at all the AP exams, a lot of the teachers went to specific professional development just to teach that particular course. But in terms of the ELA, the Regents, I think the iReady has been a major change, and there has been staff development for those teachers still going on right now. And for the Regents, there has been alignment within the course. So some of the courses, for example, just to give you a quick example, the physics students were taking the AP and the Regents at the same time, but there was a misalignment between the two curriculums. So right now, we have adjusted that. But yes, professional development, and every time there is an opportunity, the supervisor and some of the teachers are going, and then they share best practice at department meetings.
Anyone else? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Dr. Okay, let's move on to the approval of minutes. Here's a motion to approve the minutes as listed and attached below. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We're going to move on to the public participation on agenda items, opportunity for the public to be heard. In accordance with the open meetings law, school board meetings where school district business will be discussed are open to the public. The Oyster Bay East Norwich Board of Education welcomes public comment at its meetings. The Board of Education will respond to comments and/or inquiries in the appropriate manner. This portion of the meeting is designed exclusively for agenda items. A sign-in book is provided for those residents wishing to address the board. In order to be recognized, you must be signed in. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. The board presidents will call you to the microphone in the order in which you have signed in. Public discussion is prohibited regarding matters relating to an individual's reputation, privacy, or right to due process, which in some way could be violated. A second commentary period is provided for non-agenda items prior to adjournment. We thank you for your participation and cooperation. Has anybody signed in? Let's move on to approval of instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves of instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to non-instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the non-instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to special services. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolution as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So,
Second.
second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to approval of new business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves a new business resolution as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to public participation, opportunity for the public to be heard on non-agenda items. Do we have anybody signed in? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Second.